Hello, everybody. I wanted to share with you, dear patrons and friends, um, a book that's been really surprisingly good and feeding me lately. It is called All Creation Waits. It's an Advent book, The Advent Mystery of New Beginnings. But I want to say, it's not like a hyper religious language book. So it actually could be engaged with as a winter solstice book. Um, Definitely a book of being with in the dark and waiting for the increase and for light to come. That would definitely be the theme. And basically, each chapter is a different animal. And you literally learn intimate, like, knowledge and details about these animals in the winter and in the cold and the dark and what happens to them. So today I thought I would just read to you. It's only 2 pages each usually. Today's animal was the eastern fox squirrel, which I think this must be a British book because sometimes the language is different. Oh, well, I don't know. It was published in America, so maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know what a fox squirrel is, so I may look that up after. But I just thought I would read you the eastern fox squirrel so that you could see the type of language and kind of what's really amazing. I think for me, what I'm loving about it is that it's connecting me in a really intimate way to nature and to being aware of what's happening in nature that I can't see right now. Especially living in a city, you don't necessarily see these intimate details, but they are happening even if we don't see them. And I think that's good for humans to learn and to know. So here we go. Eastern fox squirrel. The sun is not quite up, but the 6 fox squirrels at home in my backyard have roused from their nests and dash along the lattice work of branches as I walk across the snow. They know what's in my bag. Before I can put a handful of raw peanuts on the feeder, the boldest one runs down the trunk of the hickory tree. He stops, stretches and yawns, then takes in his mouth the peanut I offer. What I bring are treats, not sustenance. Each fox squirrel needs about 2 pounds of nuts every week to keep running and leaping all winter long. It's a high energy lifestyle they lead, regardless of the season, and they do count its cost. They have an investment plan, a plan that's all about food. The squirrel pack quickly consumes my offerings. Then the bold male hops through the snow, stops abruptly, and plunges groundward, waving the flag of his tail. When he pops up, his mouth is bulged wide with an acorn. He knew it was there. He knew it was a red oak acorn, a rich energy gem. He buried it himself after a fall day's feeding spree. Perched in the hickory and oak trees, he and his companions would speed eat, dropping nuts only partially consumed, working to add as much fat as possible and as quickly as possible in order to spend time on their main investment strategy. Glutted, the squirrels ran to the ground and scattered, burying nuts hauled from the trees. Each squirrel burying one nut at a time after time. It seemed a huge spill of energy. But it would have cost them more energy still and been futile to fend off the deer, turkeys, and raccoons that also craved the fat, dense nut meats. Instead, the squirrels hid them to keep for themselves the food that fuels their winter liveliness. Not white oak acorns, though. Most of these they ate on the spot. Whites, they know, sprout within days, rendering them useless as food. But red oak acorns they wisely and shrewdly buried. Less tasty, yes, but red stay unsprouted in the cold ground. Plus, they deliver a more powerful dose of energy badly needed in the bleakest cold. These the squirrels took greater pains to protect, hiding them farther from the trees so thieves would be less likely to uncover them, including thieves of their own kind, always nearby and watching. Thus, my favorite male employed a bag of nut burying tricks. He would dig a decoy hole, or two, or more, before depositing a nut, or after. He came back later and reburied nuts in new places. Some of his stashes will be found, even under a carpet of snow, by the keen noses of his neighbors, and he will find some of theirs. Those are bonuses. What he depends on to survive the barren season is the power of memory. I imagine him curled in his nest, a wind-tight arc of leaves and twigs high in the tree, each night consulting the map in his memory. On it is impressed not only the location of each nut, but also its kind. Which of the 1,000 shall he retrieve tomorrow? Which shall he save for a colder day? Winter relentlessly tests the spirited life he leads. He does his utmost to answer, remembering one small buried treasure after another. And I didn't mention the author. The author is Gail Boss. And even though it is late in this season, and today, if I am correct, is the solstice, I would really recommend even getting this, because even if you're behind, you could like sit down in a sitting and move through a lot of this, or take a few of them a day, and you could still be kind of in step with the season this year of winter and waiting and darkness. So just wanted to share that with you today, and hope that it's encouraging, and hope some of you check it out. If you do get it and you do start reading it, leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. And I'm just curious if it would affect other people the way it's been affecting me. Yeah, I'm just liking the language and the intimate knowledge I'm beginning to learn and develop, um, and how and I feel like it's increasing a sense for me that nature makes sense, that learning the context and what's going on and why animals might do what they do actually makes sense, and makes them feel closer to me and more like, well, yeah, that's what I would do too. And so I identify more with them, instead of them being something different and strange that I don't understand, which I think we could use that type of knowledge all over the place. So, anyway, have a good solstice. Happy Advent, and I'll talk to you later.